Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing a renovation for our Career Legacy Challenge. To avoid spoilers, make sure that you're up to date with the challenge. If you don't even know what it is, make sure to go check that out. It is all up on my channel right now. But to give you a little bit background, if you don't know, we are starting off with Hazel, who is our founder for the Legacy. She's our Gen 1 of our Career Legacy Challenge, and she is also a civil designer. So this is why we have all the containers. Her whole thing is that she wants to have a container home that she completely made. She put all of this, her like love and attention into it. She built a bunch of the items that are in this, or she found them in, the trash and updated them and all of that good stuff too. I think that actually makes a lot of sense for her. But she is our founder and she's doing pretty well in her career. So it was like a good time for us to update the house and get everything ready because her son Jasper is going to be aging up into a toddler, and it would probably be a lot nicer to have a room for him. And Hazel's new boyfriend Bob may also be joining in eventually. We got to have him join the household, and there might be some more expansion as well once he does. I think that would make a lot of sense for them because they do have to have 3 children for this generation. So my biggest plan for this renovation was to remove that diagonal. I liked it. I loved how it was. It was kind of fun. It was a little different to play with, but it is now starting to become difficult to expand onto it. It ends up looking kind of silly if you try to expand onto that diagonal. So I figured it was one of those things where we were like, okay, pick up the containers and shift them 45 degrees so that they were all nice and like straight and put together that way instead. So that's what I'm doing right now is I'm just kind of moving everything from the diagonal to the regular straight shapes on the lot. And then we do a lot more from there. And I feel like that alone made such a difference. It's a lot nicer. We might have lost a little bit of space in the living area, what I think is okay. I think we can deal with that for now. We can always expand on it later. But I mean, that kind of happens. It was another reason I wanted to do the diagonal is you kind of get this smidgen of extra space when you put everything on that diagonal. It's not like a 1-for-1, which is interesting, but it works out that way. So here in the back, I'm adding a couple more containers and a little bit of like space in between them. And these containers, I had the idea that they're going to be the containers for the kids. They're each separate container room, I guess is what we were gonna have to call those. And then we have the space in between where it's more of an outdoor hallway. I didn't want to get rid of that idea. Have been saying it for this entire time, and I've been talking about it. I feel like it's more fun to have this interesting outdoor hallway between the containers so that they each have kind of like their own separate space. Now up top, I didn't want to change up the greenhouse too much. Or at least the shape, I should say. I did get the greenhouse kit that was gifted to me, so I was like, oh my god, I have to use that for this. This will be perfect. We have the greenhouse up top. You'll get to see all of those renovations in a minute. So I do have the spot for the stairs. That's going to change. I was trying to figure out how I wanted to look up here because I kind of liked the idea of having a green roof, having kind of some yard, but it's kind of a rooftop yard instead of a backyard yard. And I think that kind of works out here. I think it makes sense for it to be all that like eco living type of stuff. They end up with a green upstairs. So we still have that cute ladder I had out front that looks like the trellis, and then like the little trellis fence as well. And you can climb that to get to the rooftop, and then we'll also have the stairwell to get to the top as well, to get to the greenhouse. And then we also put in a barbecue space and a little sitting space. But I mean, I kind of like having this whole area up top. It's almost like we're like, well, there's not as much space, and we kind of built this on a pier that doesn't really have grass. So why don't we just build up and we'll add the grass up top? So that's where I end up putting the stairs. And actually worked out really nice because that was the space between the two sections of containers. And adding that nice tall fence, it feels a little bit more open. You get some light in that way too. I'm surprised at how much drama ended up happening in this Let's Play so far. I know I'm like switching gears for a second, but you can see I'm building out the containers. And it's kind of fun. So we have Jasper, who was the child with Jay Huntington, who was just not a good partner for Hazel. Hazel likes having more like attention, and she likes that bit of romance, and she wants to actually have that lovely connection with her person. And Jay just didn't really care. He's a bit more of a party boy, he's a bit more of a player, and it just did not work out for them. So he left, and right after he left, Bob came into the picture, and God, I love Bob pancakes. I don't know about you guys. Which one's your favorite? Do you like Bob or Eliza better? Who do you hate more? Put it down below. Let's talk about it. But I actually do enjoy Bob. There's something about him. He's just very charming in his own way. I don't know. He kind of seems like a big cuddly teddy bear. And I think Hazel sees him the same way. So she's like doing all of these renovations and hoping that he decides to, yeah, let's move in together. Let's take that next step together and move in. He loves Jasper. They get along very well. He also, they don't, okay, so Fish and Bob don't really get along, but maybe Bob's more of a dog person. I don't know. We could get a dog too. I'd be okay with that. We have the space for it, I think. No, I really like how this house is turning out. So from here, I wanted to make sure that they had like a nice little walkway path, and it goes around to the back because all of her other equipment is back there. You know, the water collectors, we have the recycler and the bin. So I wanted to make sure we had like a little path that goes all the way around. I also wanted to replace all the doors, so I didn't want to actually have the container doors anymore. I feel like that would end up being upgraded so that we have real doors on everything. And so we have like the nice little space to get out into the hallway, to get to the other rooms. And then I liked this little area I create here. So this is it's like not a porch because we don't actually have this lifted up at all. I kept everything level on the ground, but it is kind of like this nice little overhang at the front door. And it really separates that front door space so you kind of know where the entrance is too, because I didn't really make that obvious. It is to the side of the front of the lot technically. So having that little space there makes it a bit more obvious, especially with the little walkway up and all of that too. Because I could have made it where the front door, you go down like the hall space, but I kind of like having that separated so it's not just open to, I guess, like the public, you know, like the open sidewalk. Because I don't want like just Sims walking down my hallway that goes to like my bedroom. That just seems kind of funky. So I even made it a little bit of a trellis at the top too, because I thought that'd be really nice and it's open. Maybe eventually I'll have some plants growing on it. We could even have some like vines or something growing up it. I think that could be really pretty, kind of mixing all of the different textures. We have nature meeting all the metal and tin and everything too. So I feel like that kind of all mixes together well. So here is when I actually upgrade our greenhouse with a greenhouse kit, which I was really excited to put together here because it was the first time I actually got to make a real greenhouse with it. And I like how this works. So I even embraced the green. I started off with like, oh, I could do the black windows so that it kind of matches the other windows that we did. And I was like, why? Greenhouse. She loves green. We should embrace the green. So here we are with our bright green windows. And then I even put the roof on there with the green textures and everything too. It's very cute. I like it. And I think it's really fun that we kept that to the rooftop as well. So we have the rooftop garden, and we have the rooftop greenhouse, and all kind of goes together really well and really nicely. So this side of the greenhouse, I have the roof with the glass, right? And that's mostly with the plants here you see. I do change a lot of the inside. I actually add a lot of clutter, and it's so fun with all the different clutter. And on this other side, I didn't have that one with the glass roof. I thought that'd be okay. We do add a light just so that it's a little bright, but there's enough windows and everything over here that I think it keeps it open and breezy and bright. Plus, this side has the meat wall. And I don't know, maybe the meat wall doesn't, you're not supposed to have it like directly in the sunlight. So it works out having it on this side too. And the fun thing is, so I did not build this actually in my save for my Let's Play. I moved the one house. I saved it. I put it on the lot in a different save, and I edited that way. Just and just in case anything happens, I never want to break my game. That's devastating whenever that happens. So I have this built separately, and then at the end, I'll show you. I bring it to the actual save, and we take all of the items that Hazel has been making or anything that was in our inventory, and I pull it out so that it's more personalized. We had some of the personalized stuff, but there was, I know, stuff that she had made that I wanted to make sure was also added to the build. So now I'm just really going through and adding all of the fun items from the kit and making sure it all functions together. I have those two doors. So we have the one double door that replaced the container door, and then we have the one tile door on the other side, because I think it's kind of nice having two separate ways to get into the building as well. You want to make sure that you can get into the greenhouse okay. And then we have all the fun little clutter for all of her gardening needs everywhere. And it's really cute. I do like the clutter in this. It's fun. I kind of wish there was more. I don't know. Maybe in my own head, I was just like, there's not enough. I want more clutter for this. But it ends up being really cute. So going back downstairs, we make a nice big archway into the kind of this hallway-ish space for all three of the rooms. And I make them all very similar. I keep two of them pretty much empty so that we can update those later. I was trying not to spend all my money. I did have quite a bit to work with. I think it was like 50,000 to work with, or 50 or 60. And I ended up spending most of it. Not all of it, but most of it. So I'm a little afraid for our first build day. So we'll definitely have to make sure that Hazel and Bob are both working to spend our lovely money on our bills. Now, Jasper's room is the only one that I did update and renovate and make really cute. The other ones I was just like, well, we'll just do some basic bare minimum stuff and then have that for later. And I wanted to make sure that each one had like a nice big window on them, so I just kind of put them on the ends. I don't know if we need to add any more, if we wanted to put like little ones on the side, but I like that on the ends of these, they each get this giant window to let in a bunch of light. And I did want to have all of those curtains set too, because I feel like you're going to want that, right? I feel like you're going to want like some curtains to block out all that light too that comes in, or just to like close them from the outside world. Those are my favorite curtains. I feel like I want to use them on everything. So now we actually have a proper changing table for Jasper. I did keep the other one. I put it in the other room, but I was like, we should have a proper one as well. We're going to end up with two more infants at some point. Hopefully not all at the same time, but we're going to end up with two more. So I was like, maybe having a proper one would be ideal. We put in a really cute rug, and I wanted to make sure all of his stuff was kind of put together here, all of the toys and everything. He's probably spent enough time outside as an infant and a baby that he can actually have his own room and stay inside now. It was just so squishy in Hazel's room. It was enough when he was like a baby, but then he became an infant, and every time they wanted to do stuff with the baby, they would take him outside, and that's where he would stay for a little while. So we brighten up this space a little bit more. I loved this. So instead of putting like the traditional stuff, we put these little, I guess, paper lanterns. I would say that they're not really paper, right? They're going to be kind of like that faux paper lanterns, but they're green. I was like, that's great. Yes, more green. Let's go. Gotta have as much green as we possibly can. And actually, the grass works out really well for the rooftop because of the green, too. Then we have like a full on green rooftop. It's not just her favorite color, it's her lifestyle too, you know? Green and to be green. I love it. If anything, I would probably turn her into a plant sim if I could. If they were like the old plant sims from the other like older games, I loved using the plant sims. They were kind of fun, and then actually having like the spore babies and everything was great. It was so cool. I don't like that they're like temporary in this. I wish they were a permanent stage. I want them to be a permanent supernatural. Now I'm just adding a bunch of little details here. So you want to have that nice detailing of the rooftop being still like the tin in the hallway. And then I was questioning this. I did like the tile I ended up using, and I still don't know whether I like what I do here or not. I put a fence. I put a door, right? And I think it makes sense to have like a nice big door there, but or like the gate. I guess I should call it a gate, but maybe I could change it to a door. We'll see. I just I again, it was one of those things where the front part of that hallway and even like the stairwell part of that hallway, they're open air, but they're not open where somebody could just like walk in that way. So I'm sitting here going, maybe I do need to change it. So we have that gate there, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it works out. All these cute little embellishments here. I figured with Evergreen Harbor having all the mountains in the horizon, I liked the idea of putting the cute little mountains on the wall. You can see this is where I actually added it back to our real game because I'm just pulling stuff out of our inventory. Like the lamp she made, I put one of the beds she made into one of the little bedrooms we have. And then anything she found inside of the bin, I was pulling out as well so that she could use it. Oh, and then also the extra planter. I like those planters because they you know, they keep them moist. They keep the plants watered, which is really good. And then I just wanted to make sure that we have all the little details put back in. And you know, I felt like they deserved some clutter, so I did add the picture she found from the trash and then a nice little shelf with some clutter there. I feel like it makes it a little bit better. Oh, and this is the other big thing that I did. I replaced the awful ugly counters with really pretty counters. I guess I shouldn't call them ugly. They're just, you know, I mean, they were, though, weren't they? They were kind of the gross ones. So we did get really nice kitchen now. I extended it a little bit because the door actually allowed for that. And then I replaced the fridge. We got to keep the stove. We had a really nice oven stove right there. So I was like, why would I change that? We're going to keep that guy. It's perfect. And I was debating on keeping the color scheme with like that black and white sharpness. But I feel like with the tones that we've been going with in building and in everything else and all the wood tones, it's kind of nice having it a bit brighter and lighter than having just that like black and white. And you can see at this point we're down to 5,000. I'm pretty sure in my last episode we had like 22. Um so yeah, you can see I spent a lot of money. But I mean, it's worth it. Look how great the house looks now. They're going to be able to have more space. They can move a little bit nicer. They can definitely talk about expanding the family and bringing Bob on board and having everybody just be together, and it'll be so nice. I really like it. I also just kept looking at all the cute kid stuff. I didn't put a bunch of toddler stuff for Jasper yet. I wanted to, but then I was like, oh, well, he's not technically a toddler yet, so I guess I should wait. So I'll make sure that once he does actually age up, we'll put in all the fun little doodads for a toddler. And I'm actually really happy that now Hazel has her nice little own container spot over on this side. Oh, I didn't really mention this, but I did move around the bathroom so that it comes out into the hallway, so it's now a shared bathroom with everybody. We can always upgrade to having more bathrooms if necessary, especially if we're going to end up with 5 people in this house. It might be useful. So now just some lovely screenshots of the finished build. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and definitely come check out the Let's Play with us. There's a lot that's going to happen in the future, and I'm excited to get right back into it. So make sure to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe if you aren't already, and I'm going to say, keep crafting, keep gaming, and stay lazy. Bye, everybody.